danger, danger. 뚜루뚜 알람이 경고해. 거기서 멀어져야 해. 나나나나나나.
Hi guys, this is going to be the third and final video in my 2020 prediction series. I'll link the previous two videos down in the description box below. Most of my alt groups are from SM, so this video might be kinda long. Make sure to let me know your predictions down below as well. As much as it kills me to say this, I don't see EXO having a proper comeback in 2020. However, I think it's highly likely that they will release a repackage for Obsession, since they've always had repackages for their albums. Suho is going to be in a musical at the beginning of the year, so I think they'll have time in January or February to release the repack before he enlists. Speaking of enlistments, Suho is the only member who I'm confident will enlist. I'm guessing he'll do so sometime at the end of February or in March. I also feel like it's possible that Chen will enlist sometime towards the end of the year. In terms of solo releases, I think both Chen and Baekhyun will have 1 or 2 comebacks next year, and I'm hopeful that they will each get to release a full-length solo album. But if that doesn't happen, the comebacks will be at least mini albums. I also think the two of them will collab with 2 really big K-pop artists. I'm really hoping for a Chen and IU collab as well as a Baekhyun and Dean collab. I think Lay will have at least 2 comebacks as well, both of them in English, and if he releases a solo album this year, which I think he was kind of hinting at, I think they'll both be released in Chinese and English. I also foresee Lay going on another solo tour this year, this time maybe with more stops, but still just in China, although I really want SM to bring Lay to America. As for subunits, obviously CBX isn't getting a comeback since Xiumin is still in the military, but I think EXO SC will get another mini album. I don't think it's going to be promoted very well, unfortunately, but I think it will still sell well. I don't think any members will have solo debuts this year, although I'm really hoping that Kai gets one, because he's definitely capable of pulling one off. I think we'll get an SM Station single from Suho before he leaves, but I doubt he'll make a solo debut with his enlistment so close. Despite this relative lack of group activity, I still see them retaining their popularity and remaining one of the most popular K-pop groups. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot to say about this. I don't think SM will ever officially announce FX's disbandment, but I think it's safe to say that it's over. I think once Crystal's contract expires, she'll leave SM and sign with an agency geared towards acting. It's pretty much a guarantee that Amber will keep releasing music and promoting in the US. I'm really hoping that Luna will be able to have a proper comeback though, with an actual album this year, but it depends on whatever company she's signed with at the moment. Literally, where the hell was OGG this year? I thought an OGG comeback was pretty much a guarantee this year, considering how popular their first single was, but the only content we got this year was a season's greeting package. SM better give this subunit a comeback next year, with a mini album at the very least, but it's SM, so there's no guarantee they'll do it. In terms of solos, I think only Taeyeon, Tiffany, and Hyoyeon will have comebacks, but maybe we'll be surprised and get a comeback from Yuri or Yuna. I think Taeyeon will release a single, a mini album, and have some sort of Japanese comeback this year. I also think that she'll have a solo tour in Korea and in Japan this year. With Tiffany, I expect at least 3 single releases in preparation for the release of her full-length solo album. I also definitely see her having another tour by the end of the year, with more international stops this time. With Hyoyeon, I think she'll release another EDM single, but it won't really get any promotion or physical releases. I hope at least SM releases some sort of compilation album of her previous singles, but I doubt they'll do that since they barely promote the members' solo activities. I'm still hoping for a Sunny solo debut, but I feel like if it was meant to happen, it would have happened by now. I don't see us getting an official Girls' Generation comeback next year, but I'm not necessarily mad about that. I think it's best for all the girls to focus on their solo careers at the moment, especially for Tiffany since she's trying to break through a new market. I think 127 will have 2 Korean comebacks this year, but we'll have an English version of at least 1 title track and maybe 1 B-side. I think SM is going to keep trying to promote them in America, and I wouldn't be surprised if they got another tour like the one they had this year. I don't foresee any lineup changes happening unless if they end up adding some of the Dream graduates. Everyone and their mothers wants Dream to become a fixed subunit, but SM seems pretty fixed on the whole graduation plan, so unfortunately I don't think it's going to happen. Haechan will obviously stay with NCT 127, and I'm pretty sure Longjun will join REVE. As for Jino and Jaemin, I think that they'll actually be joining a new subunit of NCT, which I'll explain towards the end of the video. I really hope SM takes what fans want into consideration for once and make Dream a fixed unit, but it's more likely than not that they won't. I think REVE will release 1 mini album and possibly a full-length album by the end of the year. At least they will have 2 mini albums. I think the lineup will pretty much stay the same, with the exception of Longjun being added. SM better drop some international tour dates for La Rouge. I think given the success of their last international tour, it's pretty much a guarantee that they'll have another world tour at the beginning of next year. And I'm really hopeful that they'll come back to the US. I think that they'll drop the REVE Festival Day 3 sometime during this touring period or maybe right after, since I think they were hinting at dropping it by the end of this year, but it just hasn't happened as of uploading this video. I think they'll have 2 Korean comebacks this year, both mini album releases, and will release another Japanese mini album, with single releases leading up to the full release, like with their Sappy album. As for solo debuts, I have a feeling that Sugi might be getting one next year, since they gave her a new solo song to perform at their concert. I don't think it's a guarantee though, since a lot of SM artists, especially the ones in girl groups, don't debut until after their group's 7-year anniversaries, but I definitely think that she's capable of handling one. And if it doesn't happen next year, it will happen the year after for sure. As for the other members, I don't think anyone will have an official debut, but I think it's pretty much guaranteed that we'll get more Wendy and Yeri SM Station songs. I also wasn't sure if I should mention this last prediction, but I have a feeling that Dispatch will expose one of the members for dating this year. I just think that since they went after Blackpink and Twice, they'll want to expose a Red Velvet member next. I mean, there isn't a lot to say about SHINee as a group since they'll still be on military hiatus. I think Key is coming back in October if I'm not mistaken, which I don't think is enough time for SHINee to have an official comeback by the end of the year. Onyu is coming back earlier in the year, so I think it's possible that he might have a solo comeback with another mini album release. As for Taemin, I'm expecting a full album release and a Japanese comeback. I also think he's gonna have another solo concert this year. I think we'll see SHINee reunited by the end of the year in some way or form, but not as an official comeback. I think Super Junior will definitely release a new full-length album next year. I also think that at least one more member will have a solo debut this year, and many of the members who have had solo debuts will have one comeback each this year. I also think D&E might make a comeback, maybe with another mini album. I think that the lineup of members promoting with Super Junior will stay the same as this year's. Super M is already confirmed to be touring at the beginning of the year, and I think they'll release another mini or full-length album sometime during the year. I think they might even announce another tour by the end of the year in America, but I don't know how impending enlistments will affect who can actually participate. I think they'll also make it on some other big American show like Ellen, or perform for some big event like NCT 127 has been doing this year. So for some reason, SM announced this year that they were gonna release a full-length album, but then took back the statement, so I presume they're gonna get a full-length comeback next year. I think some sort of Japanese comeback is pretty much guaranteed as well, and I think it's pretty likely that they'll tour in Japan again. I also think Yoonho might have a solo comeback, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm hoping Changmin gets a solo debut this year, but again, I'm just not really sure if it will happen. So SM announced that they were going to debut a new girl group and a new boy group next year. So I'm going to break down what I think the details of each group are going to be. I think SM's new boy group will end up being another NCT subunit. I'm personally guessing that this will be a Japanese-centered subunit, since Japan has one of the biggest music markets in the world, and it's already pretty common for K-pop artists to promote there. My prediction for the members at the moment are Jeno, Jaemin, Yuta, maybe Johnny, and one or two new members. I'm pretty confident that SM is finally going to debut the remaining 5 SM Rookies girls. I have a feeling SM will make this a 6 or 7 member group. I don't think they'll want to make another 5 member group because of Red Velvet and FX, but I don't think they'll try to make a group as big as Girl Generation. I have no idea what their concept will be, but it definitely won't be something that can fit into a label like Cute or Girl Crush. I've been hearing rumors about a new girl group for years now, but I actually think it will finally happen this year, since their only active girl group is Red Velvet at the moment, and EXO and SHINee are going to go on military hiatus. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm planning on ranking my favorite 2019 comebacks later this week, so please stay tuned if you are interested.